It's YouTube. Whoa, how's it going? Today, we're gonna be talking about 5 tips to make you a better dungeon master. Being a dungeon master is a lot to take care of. You're planning sessions throughout the weeks, making maps, homebrewing content, balancing encounters, weaving backstories into the plot, and that doesn't even cover what mental load you have to bear during the actual sessions. Mixing that with improvising and reworking ideas at the drop of a decision that your players make. So let's see what we can do to help make you a better DM in the process. If you're not already subscribed, that'll definitely set you on the path to being a better DM, and if you don't take my word for it, just listen to our sponsors. What? I don't have sponsors. So you're just gonna have to take my word for it. You'll be a better DM. I promise. You want another take, but with confidence. Okay. You'll be a better DM. I promise. Look in the camera this time. Oh. You'll be a better DM. I promise. Oh, hey there, DM. I just wanted to let you know I hate you, and I don't appreciate anything you've done in the campaign for the entire time I've been in it. Hey there, DM. I just wanted to reach out and let you know that I've been a little frustrated recently since so-and-so has been taking up so much more of the spotlight. Yeah, that still doesn't sound right. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I can offer is to make sure that you're giving your players opportunities to provide feedback to you. Regardless of what the feedback is, if it's unprompted, it could feel like unwarranted criticism. As a player, it could feel like an attack on the DM and all their hard work when really it's just coming from a place of wanting to have a better experience at the table. At the end of every session or every couple of sessions, you should be providing an opportunity to your players to provide feedback on every facet of the game. This can be done in a couple of different ways. Simply hitting up the group chat and asking for general feedback. Make sure you let them know that they can DM you if they feel uncomfortable saying it in front of everyone. Make sure that they know it could be totally anonymous. One of my favorites that I've heard is using a Google survey. It can be completely anonymous, even to you as the DM. And you can put in specific sections about story-related feedback, DM-related feedback, and player-related feedback. I've been in situations where the DM never asked for feedback, and there were little things that I would have loved to talk about, but I never felt like that door was open. There was no direct line to openly communicate with them, especially in a way that criticized the table that they ran. I was also the only player, and I was brand new to this group specifically, that had already been running together with each other and had a lot of familiarity, so I really felt like the odd one out. I wound up quitting that group because I just felt too uncomfortable and didn't really have a connection or outlet with them. Just because you say it once at the beginning of the campaign doesn't mean it's a good enough blanket statement for every session thereafter. Make sure your players always know that it is okay, even if you have to repeat it to them over and over again. And you're likely not even going to get much feedback in the first place. But just on the off chance that there is some, it's better to make your players feel comfortable about doing so. Fake typing noises, fake typing, fake typing noises. What do you want? No, I don't have a skit. Look, I can't think of a skit every single time. Sometimes there isn't one. Just let me get back to writing the rest of the script, okay? I'm gonna keep this one brief. There's probably a whole video you can find from some other great D&D creators, but run a session 0. Tell your players about your homebrew rules, help them with character creation if they need it, talk about themes and ideas regarding the campaign, come up with a safe way to go over the content that could be portrayed in your game. I tend to include spiders, gore, and body horror in my games. Some people can't stand any of that. I once bought a Drider mini, and I didn't know it would freak out one of my players. I felt terrible. No DM wants to cause extreme discomfort to their players. Some might want to scare them, some might want to cause minor discomfort with descriptions to get a point across, but some players might also not want that at all. Make sure your players know what's going to happen at your table. If they're not cool with it, come to some form of agreement so that everyone is going to be comfortable. If anyone is uncomfortable at your table, it will be a lesser experience for everyone involved. So you're telling me the monster isn't gonna hurt us? Yeah, that's correct. But it also isn't gonna talk to us, let us pass? This is, in fact, a true statement. This monster also has 500 health. Correctamundo, muchacho. And we've got to kill it to proceed. To the death. Yeah. And we have to take each of our turns In the initiative, we can't just say that because it won't move, it won't attack, it won't communicate with us, it won't do anything but exist until we kill it, that we just fast forward till it's dead. Look, I get it, all right? I told you in the session 0 that I wasn't good at combat. All right, so we're gonna provide a bit of a fair warning for this one as it comes from a place of my own bias. I don't hate combat, but combat that goes on for too long for no reason is really kind of frustrating to me. Pointless combat can be a huge waste of hours of your session. It's hard to make every combat encounter matter, but it's not hard to avoid pointless or repetitive combat that just bogs down the session. Some combat encounters are meant to dwindle your party of their resources, and that's fine, but don't put them in there just for the sake of solely dwindling resources. It's gonna feel like a really large waste of time if your players are waiting 40 minutes a turn just so that the fighter lost an action surge and the wizard lost a spell slot. Don't be afraid to fast track things. If you're running a dungeon and there are monsters that skitter around and you see that your players are wasting time to kill all of them and are doing so with ease, just let them kill them without too much worry. Don't make them waste time rolling initiative, potentially missing, so on and so forth until finally the thing is dead. Learn from the experience, do better next time, but don't waste time. D&D is a thing everyone looks forward to every week or weeks, depending on what your schedule is. Time is precious. Those 40 minutes you spent to have one turn in combat that didn't mean anything can feel like a really big waste of time. There needs to be real consequences or damn good rewards. Oh my god, Matt did this really cool. Oh my god, Jack, we get it. You like Critical Role. We're sorry that we're not voice actors and we stopped playing the drinking game where we take shots every time you say toothy mom. Okay, I get it, sorry. Did you guys? Yes, we know Brennan is going to be the DM for a new Exandria Unlimited series. Yes, we're excited. And yes, we're also sorry that you're an inferior ginger DM and that we're not as funny as professional improvisational comedians from Dimension 20. Find other DMs that you like and use them as inspiration. Look for live play games. Dimension 20, Arcane Arcade, Critical Role, High Rollers, NADPOD. There are so many different live play Dungeons and Dragons games out there. You can learn so much from watching other people play Dungeons and Dragons. This is an easy one. Even if I made fun of it with a skit, I found Critical Role before I played my first session. It hyped me up. Watching Matt and company play taught me so much, but it also warped my expectations of what D&D should be like. So be careful with that. But that doesn't negate what you can learn from watching DMs with 10 plus years of experience. Also, try and find more than one. For a very long time, Matt was my only inspiration. When I found Dimension 20 and saw how a game could be emotional and deeply rooted in comedy, I feel like I opened a third eye as a dungeon master. Not only that, but Brennan has different strengths to learn from as a DM than Matt does, so being able to grow from both of them has made me grow as a DM in different ways. The Matt Mercer effect is a stupid thing that people put too much focus on. Find your inspiration. The same way that an author, a director, a painter, an artist of any kind has their inspirational heroes, a DM should have theirs as well. Just don't expect your players to be who they're not. So you're telling me that this is Gary, the Witcher, with a Y instead of an I. Yeah, he's got 3 swords, the eyes of a dog, and a lion pendant. Oh. Indulge in what inspires you, however it may be. Even if you're blatantly and obviously taking from something that your players are going to know, it's not a bad thing. One of my favorite NPCs I've ever made was Dante Geary, a play on the Divine Comedy. He had a personality of All Might from My Hero Academia. There is and never will be anything wrong with how you choose to showcase what inspires you in your world. If anything, it'll help your players understand a little bit more about the world, since it's something they might already know and understand. It might also help them theory craft if they are aware of the things that are inspiring you. I'm about to run a new campaign. I'm openly telling my players what the inspiration is. It's heavily inspired by Castlevania, The Witcher, Dragon Age, and Star Wars, which actually it's going to be starting soon on my Twitch. There's a link in the description. You should definitely follow that. It's going to be fun. And that's it though, folks. Those are some easy tips to help make you a little bit better at being a dungeon master. Also, this video that you can see here on the end screen is something that might also help, maybe as a DM or a player. Check this out.